This video is made possible by our loyal Patreon supporters. Visit patreon.com/Psychetruth.
Hey guys, my name is Tessa and I am going to be doing a massage video for you today. We're going to be doing something a little bit different. So this is a video for anybody that tends to have tight hips. An area of the body that definitely plays into that is the inner thighs, the adductors. So we're going to focus on that quite a bit, and we're actually going to start with the quads. Always a good place to start to just kind of warm up and get ready for any type of deeper hip work. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with Karina's quad. The quad is a really good place to start because it's such a big muscle that when you're just thinking about hips, you want to kind of focus on the bigger muscles to start. A lot of the time I would work on glutes as well, but today we're doing something just a little different. And just finding a rhythm that feels good, applying that lotion. And towards the end of this massage, I'm going to do some work in the IT band. Not just yet. And as I'm applying the lotion, I'm actually just listening to the muscles as I'm starting to put my hands on Karina. And finally, I'm just starting to go in with stacked hands a little bit. And I really like to work the quads this way because I have a lot of sensitivity in my fingertips. And I'm applying, firm-ish pressure, but I'm just warming everything up to start. And this is just a really nice way to work upwards towards the heart. And working upwards like this is actually really healthy for the heart and the lymphatic system. So just applying a little bit more pressure. So if I were to try and do this with just one hand and, without the help of my other hand, it would be a lot harder. And it's less about energy coming from my hands as much as my core and my body. So I'm really mindful of how I'm using my core and my whole body as I work. And this would not be possible if I were just using my hand. So yeah, I'll start on the outer edge of this leg and I'll work my way in kind of closer towards the adductor, just warming everything up. And finally, getting a little deeper, can use a nice soft fist. Always when you're using a soft fist, you want to be careful not to overbend your wrist, and that can be challenging. Just really listen to your body and make sure that you feel good as you work. And also, you want to make sure that you have leverage on this leg. So you're going to be supporting the inside of the leg of the person that you're working on, just slightly as you start to go a little bit deeper. And just starting to do a little bit of stripping, working a little deeper. As I move deeper into the deeper layers of tissue, I actually like to slow down, not work really fast. I tend to work pretty slow anyway. And I feel like I am most effective that way. And if Karina were a client of mine and she were under a sheet where I could appropriately get to her hip flexor, I would totally do that for hip work, because the hip flexor that is in here can get really, really tight. But I'm not going to do that today. That's something that you definitely want to include with important hip work. And if you want to get even deeper into that quad, you can use your forearm. So you're going to use the forearm that's closest to the leg. If I were to try and do forearm work with my opposite arm, it would just be a lot harder on my body. So I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of lotion to my forearm so that it doesn't stick. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time doing this, but just to show you. So going in at a diagonal above the knee, and you can even do just some gentle rocking. It's a nice distraction technique when you start to go a little bit deeper, or you can just go straight up. And yeah, just starting to work into that muscle a little more. And again, the more that you can work from your core, the more endurance you're going to have as a therapist or just during a massage when you're helping someone out. Just kind of going back with my fingertips, kind of feeling how everything has responded. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move into the adductor a little bit. And first, we're going to do just a really gentle stretch for the hips. So, Karina, I'm just going to open up your leg a little bit. And so if you can keep your foot, and if you have somebody whose knee is up to here, who has a really tight hip, it can feel really nice to set a towel or a pillow underneath that leg. But Karina has pretty flexible hips. I'm not too worried about it. So for this stretch, it's better if your leg is straight and then your foot is right on your thigh, like pretty close to it. So this is a really nice stretch. If you want to just place your hand on that hip and just bring the knee down slightly. Do you feel that stretch? This is just a really nice, and Karina probably doesn't feel this as much as someone who has tighter hips would feel it. Nice way to start though. Okay. So we're going to start to work into the adductor in the same way that we worked on the thigh. So the adductor can be a really tender place to work. You want to be really just delicate with how you approach it without being like, afraid to get in there. So just making sure I put plenty of lotion so my hands don't stick. And so you want to kind of start about the middle of that inner thigh and start to work your way down and out. And again, just listen to your wrists as a body worker and make sure that you're feeling okay. So this is just a really nice way with the fingertips to kind of warm everything up You can also do a soft fist. I don't like that as well when I'm doing inner thigh work, but you can do that. I just like to use my fingertips more to warm everything up. Okay, and I am reminding myself to work from my core more because it's easy to start kind of hunching over. All right, so this is a great place, again, just like when I was working on the thigh, to use the forearm. But you need to be really careful because the elbow, you don't have a lot of sensitivity, and this part of the body is really tender. So just kind of go slow. And what I am using my elbow, but I'm just being really careful with how much pressure I'm applying to start and going all the way to the top of that muscle. And this is just a really, really nice way to get into the adductor a little bit deeper. Okay, so I think we've spent enough time warming everything up that I'm going to go in a little bit more detailed with my thumbs. So this is a great place to practice a distraction technique because it can be really uncomfortable. So I'm just going to kind of rock back and forth as I work my way up the center thigh. And you don't want to linger too long, but you don't want to rush through it. My fingers are sticking a little bit because I don't have a whole lot of lotion, but it'll work. And yeah, just rocking. You can go right up the adductor with your thumbs, but I just think it feels better to your client if you kind of distract them a little bit. And it feels really nice when you kind of go back and forth between different techniques. And I might start applying a little bit more pressure with my elbow if it feels appropriate to do so, if my client's ready. And you might want to just end with something that is very relaxing after doing deeper work. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a little bit of effleurage, just, because it feels nice usually. You can even get into the quad a little bit with your thumbs. So we're actually going to end today with Karina's IT band, and there are a lot of ways you can work the IT band. Today I'm going to go ahead and have Karina move to her side. I'm going to get rid of this thing. It can feel nice if you have a pillow or something to put in between the knees as well. So this is just a really nice way to expose the IT band, and you can even, if you have access to it, you can get into the hip flexor a little bit. I'm just going to work on the IT band for now. And if somebody were pregnant, this is actually how I would work on the whole leg. And a little effleurage is a nice way to apply lotion in this position. And it's also a nice way to warm up the IT band a little bit. And just finding a nice rhythm, a nice pace. So for this kind of work, I really like using the heel of my hand, and I like to just work my way down. The IT band is really long, so if you can, to start up high is kind of the best. But yeah, just working my way down, and if I feel like there's a spot in the IT band that's a little bit tighter, I'll make note of it and kind of revisit. I'm always careful of overworking any part of the body. I kind of like to revisit rather than spend a whole lot of time if at first I feel like it's tight. You can also use your forearm if you want. I get better leverage using the base of my hand. And especially with the IT band, it's nice to go back and forth between something that's a little more relaxing. And I'm just going to do a little bit more with the heel of my hand. Just working my way down. This is great if you're a runner. Really, it's great for anybody. And I think that's good for today. So that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that y'all have a great rest of your day.
Many of our subscribers don't see our videos. Make sure that you click the notification bell. And if you haven't already, follow us on social media for tips, tutorials, giveaways, and daily inspiration.
We have over 1,000 videos on Psychetruthpatrons.com, including our premium massage series, extended fashion haul modeling, ASMR massage and back tickling, behind the scenes, and more. Visit Psychetruthpatrons.com today. Our Patreon supporters also gain automatic access to Psychetruthpatrons.com with new exclusive videos each week and over 1,000 videos available now. Click the Patreon symbol in the middle of the screen.